Hello everyone and welcome to Stan the Wine Man TV. I am your host, Stan Rattan, and this is the Blue Collar Wine Show where I help you spend your wine dollars wisely. We're going to go to an area that's fairly new to me, and I've been in the wine world a long time, and that's Côte Rhônaise. Where's Côte Rhônaise? It is in northern Rhone, way up northern Rhone. It's actually so close to the Loire Valley. It could be part of the Loire Valley, but it's considered part of the Rhone Valley. And all they grow there is Gamay. Now when we think about Gamay, we think of Beaujolais. Beaujolais is at the southern end of the Burgundy area, and we're very familiar with Beaujolais Nouveau that comes out every third Thursday of November. It used to be a big deal, not so much anymore. Remember George Duboeuf Beaujolais Nouveau, and we bought it for Thanksgiving dinner because it was fresh and fruity and no tannins. It worked good with the Thanksgiving meal. Well, it still does, but now people are kind of diving into Beaujolais Village, some of the better Beaujolais out there for Thanksgiving. In fact, I don't even buy any Beaujolais Nouveau for the store because we just can't hardly give it away. I can remember back in the day we used to order 20, 30 cases of Duboeuf Beaujolais Nouveau, and we sold it all. Times change in the wine world, that's for sure. Well, here's another area where all they grow is Gamay, Côte Rhônaise, and it has volcanic soil, a lot of basalt, and big diurnal shifts. In other words, cold in the evening, warm in the day, and seems to be good conditions for growing Gamay. Interesting, that's all they grow there. Now we have two here. Turn them around. We have one that's a little lower price and one's a little higher price. We're going to give them a try. Talk about that. Of course, this is November. Thanksgiving is coming up. A lot of people are going to get together. Wine flows freely at Thanksgiving. So let's get started right off the bat. This is the La Colline en Flamme Côte Rhônaise. Romain Parr is the producer, and it is a 2018. $16. I remember when I first tried these, I was like, I'm pretty impressed. In fact, I probably bought too much for the store. We've sold some of it, and we still have some left over. And these are the leftovers, which I'll be interested to see how they have fleshed out after I've had them for nearly a year. Let's see what we get on those. You get a little bit of that kind of fresh, like pressed grapes. When you walk into it, I don't know how many of you have been in a winery. When you walk into a winery, especially when they're fermenting grapes, you get that really, I love that smell. Freshly pressed grapes. Get a little bit of earth on this. Cherries, for sure. This is real earthy on the nose. Like there's cherries all over the dirt. Get a little cranberry action in the background. See what we get on the palate. Glad I said cranberries because it is packed with cranberries, cherries. Talk about fresh and fruity. No tannins to speak of. They're just slightly, barely, a little bit of earth kind of dwelling underneath the cranberry and cherry. And it's not really tart. It's just kind of a sweeter cranberry. I even get a hit, just a tiny hit of blueberry in there, and lots of red flowers. They like to use carbonic maceration there. We won't get into detail about that. It's just a different way that they get the grapes fermented and ready to go to be pressed. You might want to look that up, carbonic maceration. Maybe I'll talk about that because we'll probably do another episode about that. But anyway, I can always kind of taste that in a wine. They use it a lot in the Côte Rhônaise. There's almost a kind of cola aspect coming through on this one as well. Very nice, easy to drink, beautiful wine, red flowers, cherries, cranberries, and a little bit of that cola coming through. kind of sliding underneath with a little bit of earth. It's not a big dominant part of this wine. This would be beautiful with Thanksgiving. I mean, hey, you know, it just got all that stuff that you need with all the different things of Thanksgiving. And everybody does, somebody just told me they're going to buy a turducken. I never heard of that before. My wife has, of course, my wife has. And yeah, it's turkey stuffed with duck, stuffed with chicken. Anyway, interesting. But there's so many things people do with Thanksgiving these days. This would be perfect. Simple, delicious. I'm going to go B-. I think it's great. A little example of Côte Rhônaise. Côte Rhônaise. Okay, now we're going to move on. Now we're getting into some big dogs here. This is $32. Not chump change, of course. But you know, I noticed with the holidays, and I've been in this business a long time. With the holidays, a lot of people like to bust out and do a little bit special wines, depending on who's coming. Domaine Sorel, Per Dresser, 2017 Côte Rhônaise, rolls in at $32. There you go. So, will we notice the difference between a $32 Côte Rhônaise and a $16 Côte Rhônaise? We're going to find out right now. Definitely dark cherries on the nose on this one, and earth, and red flowers. Actually, believe it or not, a little more muted than the first one. But yeah, I get that kind of that old dirt coming through big time. Maybe a slight hit of coli. Not getting cranberry. Now, I wouldn't be surprised if I get cranberry on the palate. Let's see what we get on the palate. This is kind of nah. Not a lot going on. Really surprised, $32. There's definitely, it's very, very restrained on the palate, which is unusual. What did I say? What this is a 2017? They're not necessarily made to be aged, so this has 3 years on it, almost 4. Come on, Stan, 3 years. It's got sweet. There's a sweetness to it on the finish. Very basic. It has a depth to it that is just not popping out right now. I get cherries, a little bit of strawberry, red flowers for sure, but it's very muted. Like it's trying to get out of there, and it's not getting out of there. Cola notes come through as well. I'm just thinking, comparing the two, this is a little deeper, of course. Now, you decant this for an hour, you're probably going to get some more flavors out of this. I opened these about 20-25 minutes ago, and once again, as I said over and over again, most of you guys, now I encourage decanting, of course, and when customers buy a certain wine, I say, you need to decant this wine, decant it for an hour, it helps it kind of come out. There's some coffee notes coming through as well. From a structure standpoint, from a depth standpoint, this is a better wine. I can sense that. I think it'll help to decant it. But I think for the overall general consumer, I think the $16 little gem will do just fine for Gamay, for turkey. This one, if you decant it, I would give it an hour, maybe. More will come out. It's obvious on the palate, to me. But I'm thinking the real winner here is the $16 Gamay versus the $32 Gamay. Although the finish on this $32 Gamay is fantastic. I'm going to go B on this one, just a hedge up. That's only from the standpoint of being fair, but how it's made and my expectations for it if it's decanted. But here you go. You know, if you want to, seek out some Côte Rhônaise. I think they're kind of an interesting wine. Gamay from a different place other than Beaujolais. Thanks for taking a little time out of your day. I really appreciate your support. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Tell your friends about this program. I'm trying to reach a certain level of subscribers, and I'm going up, 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 and I really like it. Because I enjoy teaching about wine, I enjoy sharing my knowledge, and I enjoy helping people find good values. That's important to me. You keep watching, and I'll keep helping you spend your wine dollars wisely.